Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 42 of Let's Play Battle Brothers. Now, you may have noticed we're already in a fight here, and that's because I tried to avoid this pack of wolf riders, but man oh man, they came right at us. Alright, so it looks like we're dealing with a pretty sizable pack. We've got 16 wolf riders on the board. Fortunately, we have the slight advantage of this elevated terrain we're on. That's slowing down their approach a little, which will hopefully give us enough time to cut down at least a few of them with some arrow fire. We've got the archers coming up in just a second, so let's see what kind of damage they can do. Wojtek is up first. And he starts us off with a piercing chest wound. Alessandro follows up, doling out another critical hit. And Fox finishes off that wolf rider's wolf, then turns his attention to the riders on the north. He pierces a chest and a hand. And Bunny. Bunny will take an easier shot at one of the low elevation targets. She pierces through a goblin wolf rider's hand and then puts another shot through his knee. Henry lashes out, striking a wolf rider with his banner, then draws his shield. Oswald takes down a rider, but the wolf is still fighting. Vlad picks his target, tears off a wolf rider's ear with his pike, then also switches off to his shield. Dominic trims off a wolf rider's armor. And Reinhard takes down a wolf and rider. Nicely done. That is why Reinhard gets to guard the flanks. Speaking of which, Kazarin doles out a shoulder wound. And Rondis... Well, Rondis finishes off the wolf that's on him, but I'm not really happy with the little pit he's stuck in. I'd like to move him somewhere else, but I guess I'll have to stay where he is for now. Janos is up. I don't want to risk taking a shot with a hammer, so he'll just take a flurry of blows. He broke the wolf rider's morale, tore him up something fierce. And round two, here come the wolf riders. Looks like a lot of them are just rushing right into battle instead of trying to flank. I can certainly live with that. Though we do have a few that are circling around those trees on the south. They're obviously still planning on trying to get to our archers. I'm not too worried about these guys on the south. What I need to see is what the guys on the north are doing. Alright, one moves up to engage Reinhard. Got another one circling wide. I'm going to have to keep... Oh, and another one circling close and engaging Vlad. I'll have to keep an eye on those guys. Kazarin casually shrugging off a half-dozen blows. And the archers are up. Wojtek puts an arrow into a wolf rider. Alessandro keeps a skirmisher suppressed. Okay, there we go. Fox takes out a wolf. Followed quickly by its rider. And another wolf. Nice, that's 3 kills in 1 round. I guess Fox is eager to maintain that high kill count. Henry's up, so he can take a few shots at these wolf riders. There's a shoulder wound. And a leg wound. Nicely done. Vlad pulls his pike again. Finishes off a badly wounded skirmisher. Dominic's up. He trims off a decent amount of armor on his foe. And Oswald focuses on the same target as well. Kazarin's looking a bit surrounded there, but that doesn't stop him from quickly finishing off a wolf rider. And Rondis is a bit surrounded too. He lashes out with a flurry of dagger strikes, piercing a goblin rider's hand. Janos moves up to support Reinhard. That goblin's morale is broken though, so let's move to a different target. Janos moves in, plunges his dagger into a rider's chest. And round 3. Gotta keep an eye on those flankers. The ones on the south aren't going to have enough movement to reach our archers this round, but next round we're in trouble. That guy on the north, though. Yeah, he just locked down Fox. Fortunately, he didn't actually hit, so we've still got a full round to respond to that. Ooh. And Oswald just took a nasty hit. Alright, we need to clear our center line. That's a high priority here, and we need to get Fox clear. Wojtek doles out a critical hit, and oddly, that other Wolf Rider just disengaged from Oswald. I really would have thought he'd try to press the advantage. Alessandro tears off a Goblin Rider's ear and puts an arrow through his arm. Bunny puts some arrows through the Goblin that's threatening Fox. Rondis continues fending off blows, and Fox finally gets some use out of that fancy footwork perk, and then quickly putting an arrow through a wolf's throat. Unfortunately, all that fancy maneuvering has exhausted him, so we'll move Dominic up to keep the Wolf Rider from re-engaging. Dominic deftly slays the Wolf Rider's wolf. But Vlad doesn't have much luck against the same target. Oswald continues fending off his foes, but he's exhausted now. Henry keeps lashing out with his dagger. He doles out a leg wound. Rondis is up again. He's got 2 Wolf Riders on him. Oh, but he quickly cuts down one of the wolves. And handily dispatches the rider as well. Now we've got Reinhard. He continues whittling away at his fleeing opponent. Janos is up. He's engaged with a broken skirmisher. But I think I could put him to better use covering our flanks, so let's have him hop the line here. Oh, and that broke the skirmisher that's threatening Dominic. Now Kazarin is up, and again, his foes are all fleeing, so he'll hop the line and lock down this other Wolf Rider. Looks like Reinhard just cut down a wolf. Okay, coming into the bottom of the round here. Everyone's exhausted. So, pushing into round 4. Looks like we've got that skirmisher dancing around on our lines, and he just trimmed off a little bit of Fox's armor. No big deal. We've got those Wolf Riders circling on the south again. Looks like they're trying to get back to an opening, maybe? Or maybe they're just fleeing now, it's hard to tell. Wojtek puts down another fleeing wolf. Nicely done. Then drops the rider as well. Alessandro fires past Kazarin, killing a wolf and its rider with a quick volley of arrows. Bunny takes aim at one of the distant wolf riders and puts an arrow through his throat. Ooh, but it looks like Sergeant Baggins is finally being overwhelmed. We'll need to move some brothers up to support him. Dominic trims away at his foe, and Vlad quickly finishes him off. Then Vlad quickly switches off to his pike and finishes off the skirmisher on Fox as well. Now Fox is freed up, and he's still exhausted. Fortunately, the battle's pretty much over at this point. It's really just cleanup, so let's lock down the fleeing targets and take parting shots at the 2 unengaged Wolf Riders on the south. We'll get what kills we can before everything wraps up. Oh, right, we still have this one on Henry, don't we? Alright, well, Henry will keep fighting back. But he's not having much luck there, so let's bring Rondis down. Actually, Rondis will keep these riders locked down. Rondis will keep this one surviving rider locked down, and Kazarin will move up to support Henry. Looks like Reinhard just finished off a fleeing skirmisher. And we're at the bottom of the round, so let's do a little bit of end-of-round maneuvering. We can slide Rondis down a little closer. There we go. That shatters the morale of the last active Wolf Rider. And round 5. Those 2 Wolf Riders on the south are definitely fleeing at this point, and there's no way we're going to catch up with them. Wojtek finishes off one of the 2 remaining riders. Switches off to his second quiver, and puts another arrow through the last remaining rider's chest. Alessandro fires past the sergeant, kills the rider's wolf, then fells the final rider. And, like I said, We've got 2 riders left on the field, but they're both so far away and moving so fast that they're as good as gone. We'll just cycle through everyone's actions here, and we should see the end of battle notification in just a second. There we go. It's over. Looks like Oswald suffered a pierced chest. But he also went up a level, so I guess it's a trade-off. And MVP is a tie between our 2 resident killing machines, Fox and Rondis. As far as loot goes, there's pretty much nothing worth mentioning here. This will net us a small amount of coins back in town, but really, for the most part, I'm just happy we made it through the battle without any casualties. Now let's, see what else we can do here. We've still got that orc stronghold, so I think that'll be our next stop. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the bookkeeping off screen real quick, and we'll be right back. And welcome back. I've rearranged our lineup, I've rearranged our inventory, and I think we're ready to lay siege to Lost Man's Shelter. This stronghold only contains some orc young, so this should just be some quick and easy experience points. And if we're lucky, we started in a fairly annoying position. We're halfway up this hill, so it's causing the elevation levels to get in the way of seeing our squad. We'll just set it on the maximum elevation for now, and hopefully we can move our guys up to the top of this hill so it won't really be a problem. Looks like we're up against 6 orc young. They've all remembered to wear armor, so they're a bit tougher than usual, but since we've already got a distinct elevation advantage here, we should probably have at least half these guys dead before they can even reach us. Speaking of which, Potato gets the first kill, dropping our first orc young. Now Mark's up. He'll start moving up the hill instead of taking any shots. And I think Rowan will follow his example. And here come the orcs. Yeah, it'll definitely take them at least 2 full rounds to reach us, so that should give us plenty of time to migrate our battle line. Actually, some of them are getting a bit closer than I expected. Alright, we'll have some of our men hold the elevated positions down here. We'll set up a partial spear wall, and we'll try to move the rest of the squad up the hill to flank them. And then we'll react based on what direction the orcs decide to move in. Yeah, that actually looks pretty clean. Oh, and let's take our last couple of shots here. A little more damage, nothing spectacular. And we're at the bottom of the round, so let's do a little final maneuvering here and move into round 2. Fox is up. He lands a decent flesh wound. Bunny continues trimming down the same target, putting him on death's doorstep. And Mark drops him. Rowan reloads and, hey, he actually manages to land a decent headshot. Tears through the orc's helmet. Knocks off a third of his health. Potato's up. He takes aim at one of the lead orcs, but can't get past his shield. And it looks like the orcs are moving up. Oh, there we go. I wasn't sure if any of them were going to try to engage. Well, since they're hesitating, we'll move up to meet them in battle. Belfontaine leads the charge, followed closely by Rondis, who lands an armor-destroying blow. Eraton steps up, tears the rest of his target's armor off. Reinhard circles around to flank from the north, and doles out a light blow. Janos moves in and readies his great hammer. Ooh, and then crushes his opponent's throat. Kazarin moves up and attacks the target at lower elevation. Nothing serious, but he trims off a bit more health. Woe moves in and follows suit with a helmet-piercing strike. And round 3. The archers are up, but they're going to need to move closer if they want to fire through our ranks. Fox moves up and kills 2 badly wounded orcs. That leaves us with just 2 opponents on the field. Bunny moves up, but can't draw line of sight. Rowan reloads, but also can't draw line of sight. Woe moves up, doles out a quick strike with his pike. Mark moves up, but doesn't have enough action points left to take a shot. Potato moves in and shatters the second-to-last Orc Young's morale. Eraton quickly closes in on the fleeing Orc and finishes him off. And that leaves us with just 1 more foe. Rhonda starts closing in, switches off to his legendary dagger. Is he... Oh, he's actually 2 spaces away at a lower elevation. Well, let's have him start circling around then. Kazarin lays into the last remaining orc. Janos lunges into a flanking position. Our archers start shuffling a little closer. And round 4. Bunny moves in, but can't land a shot. Rowan starts moving closer. Whoa, oh, there we go. He manages to land a piercing chest wound and breaks the last orc's morale. The archers keep shuffling up, though at this point the fight's pretty much over. Belfontaine pierces his foe's arm, then finishes him off with another strike. No level ups this time, but it was a pretty easy fight. And of course Fox pulls MVP with 2 kills. The loot is predictably mediocre, though we'll definitely take that signet ring. And I think we'll grab that Morning Star as well, but I'll need to do a little rearranging here. We'll be right back. Sigurd of Dornan meets you at the town square. You hand over the star map disc and the man cradles it as if it were an infant he thought lost. After a moment of awkward embrace with the relic, he holds it up high, letting the townspeople see it. They cheer for a time. Too long, truly. You have to elbow Sigurd of Dornan to remind him to pay you. Well, at least the townsfolk are in good spirits. Now we've got another noble contract available. We'll probably take that. But this might be a good opportunity to, well... I guess Rated actually cancels out High Spirit, so let's just take a look at that contract. Duke Dietmar von Eisenstein's comparing 2 scrolls when you enter. My taxmen are falling a little short these days. A shame, though I guess it's good for business. Wait, Okay, this is familiar. I've seen this text before. Basically, he wants us to destroy a goblin outpost. Not my favorite type of work, but at least he's offering a decent payday. We'll go ahead and accept the offer. And let's go scout out that goblin outpost. Though we do need to unload all this loot first, and we're getting pretty low on supplies here, so let's go ahead and take care of that first. And we're back. Now, we're supposed to be headed to Null Sharax, which is this goblin outpost over here. I passed by there before, and I'm fairly certain it's got our first goblin overseer in it. That's likely to be a big, nasty battle, and we've only got 10 minutes left on the clock, so I figured we'd round out the episode by attacking this little orc fort instead, which may not actually be much of an easier battle. It looks like we're up against 16 opponents. Though, to be fair, I'd rather take on some orcs than a bunch of scrappy little goblins. Case in point, Alessandro just dropped our first orc and put another arrow through a second orc's arm. Now, so far we're only seeing Orc Young. We've got 10 of them on the field already, but there's no telling what else might be hiding back there in the fog of war. We're definitely doing a good job of whittling down these orcs in the lead, though. There's another Orc Young. And another. Okay. At this point, we've got 13 Orc Young on the field, 14. So I think it's safe to say that this stronghold is only populated by Orc Young. It's a larger group than we normally have to deal with, but I think we're pretty accustomed to slaughtering Orc Young at this point, so we really shouldn't have any trouble here. We'll set our spears and get ready for their approach. We've got incoming. Roderick's already been stunned. Now Igot's been stunned. Wojtek quickly fires through the ranks, killing the one who attacked Igot. Then he quickly wheels around and fires 2 more arrows into another orc. We've got more orcs marching up to our front line. Now Janos has been stunned. As usual, they're stunning everyone in the front lines except for the guy who's immune to being stunned. Potato readies his bow, fires through the ranks, breaks one of the Orc Young's morale, nicely done. Alessandro follows up with 2 arrows of his own, but can't land either shot. Mark puts 2 arrows into an orc. Rowan fires his crossbow into an orc. And we've got one clever Orc Young moving around the north. Looks like he's going to try to flank us. But the rest are all clustering up. Really makes me wish I had area attacks. Rondus draws his greatsword, lunges into the mass of orcs, slicing one of their legs open. Reinhard will hold his ground, I think. I'd like to engage that flanking orc, but I can't risk leaving an opening in our line. We're pretty much at the bottom of the round, so let's just push forward into round 3 and see what happens. Looks like we've got a few crude javelins coming our way. Reinhard's keeping the north flank clear. And Roderick gets to go. Let's go ahead and switch him off to his warbrand. And he decapitates the orc that stunned him. Ooh, wow, he's doling out critical hits left and right. Pretty sure I saw a lacerated leg and a sliced artery there. Potato readies his bow, drops the profusely bleeding orc, and kills a second one with his follow-up. Igot will ready his great axe. And he leverages that elevation, decapitating an orc and driving another into the ground. Very nicely done. Rowan readies his crossbow. And doesn't really have any ideal targets, but he manages to land a glancing hit. Mark readies his bow. Drops one straggling orc in the back. And Rondus is up again. He decapitates the broken orc in front of him, then moves up to engage 3 more foes at once, which, of course, breaks their morale. Reinhard moves up now to keep our north flank covered. Kazarin moves in to support Rondus. And Woe moves up to join them as well. Now we're at the bottom of the round and... oh! Okay, looks like Rondus just crushed one of the orcs when it tried to flee. We've got another fleeing orc, so Wojtek quickly fills him with arrows. In fact, it looks like all the orcs are trying to run at this point. Rowan readies his crossbow. And drops one of the fleeing orcs. Nicely done. Potato spots an opening and moves up, then puts an arrow into another orc. Alessandro fires through the ranks, trimming off an orc's armor. We do have that one orc that's still fighting back against Reinhard. Good luck with that. Igot fells the last orc on our front line. Mark leapfrogs over Roderick, puts an arrow into another orc, Jano steps up to join Reinhard, plunges his dagger into one of the last remaining foes. Rondus moves up, switches off to his legendary dagger, and sneaks in another hit against that one stubborn orc. And Reinhard finishes him off. There we go. Then quickly moves up and locks down the last fleeing orc. Kazarin kills one of the orcs as it tries to flee. That leaves us with just one more foe, and since we've already got him locked down, we're certainly not going to let him go. At this point, the rest of the raiders are just converging on that last orc, so this should be over in just another moment. Roderick moves up to engage. Rondus moves up to engage. And Reinhard gets to take a shot. He lands a light strike with his dagger, but... oh, and he's too exhausted to press the assault. Well, moving into round 6, who will get the honor of the final kill? Wojtek puts an arrow through the orc's leg. Woe steps up, but is unable to land a hit. The orc throws up his shield and then takes a feeble strike at Roderick. Rowan might... okay. No. I guess Rowan's not going to be able to take a shot here. Oh, Roderick is up, and he quickly puts an end to the fight. Looks like Rowan Church is up a level. Congratulations. Now let's take a quick look at the loot. We'll grab that signet ring, we'll take those supplies. We'll grab most of these orc weapons, that's some good coin. And, I guess what the heck, we'll load up on the rest of this, but that's all stuff we'll drop if we find anything better. And we'll continue on to Null Sharax, hopefully facing off against our first Goblin Overseer. But we'll take care of that next time. I'll see you then. Hey, RetconRaider here. Looks like the raiders have gone back to their roots, wandering the wilderness in search of trouble and taking on contracts to roust the occasional band of unruly greenskins. Sure, the foes we're facing are coming in larger numbers these days, but so far it looks like it's nothing that the raiders can't handle. Of course, that might end up changing at some point, because before too much longer, we're likely to start seeing enemy warbands numbering up to 20 or even 30 opponents at a time. Speaking of which, it looks like we're going to end up facing our first Goblin Overseer in the near future. Goblin Overseers are the toughest and fastest goblins in the game, with the added benefits of heavy armor and the ability to buff their allies in combat. But perhaps the deadliest thing about them are their custom crossbows, which inflict a truly massive amount of damage per shot, and hit so hard that they can send their targets flying across the battlefield. This is a fight that could end up costing us a brother or two, but on the bright side, if we can take down the Overseer and his cohorts, then not only will we get a hefty payday and a big stack of loot, but we also might end up getting our hands on that goblin crossbow. Something like that could really make our resident witch hunter a force to be reckoned with. So rest up while you can, raiders, because soon we'll be marching on the goblin outpost of Null Sharax, and some of us may not survive the battle that awaits us there. But for now, this is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Battle Brothers, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website or the fan-run wiki. Links are in the description.